What if it has nothing to do with you and it has everything to do with you? Hi, my name is Bex. I've gone through the awakening process. I like to use my experience to help you understand what you're going through because it does sometimes feel like you're going crazy. Thankfully, you're not. It's a roller coaster ride unlike any other. A journey from the bottom to the top, from fear, the illusion of separation, to oneness, joy, bliss, happiness. And in that journey, it can feel like this roller coaster ride. And all it is you climbing through the frequencies of this three-dimensional reality, which is only energy. And as we're shifting through this, it can be really challenging. It's like shifting through a radio station quickly. You can't really hear one song or the other because they're all just meshed together, and eventually your ears go, stop. I'm here to help you understand that process in a way that makes sense logically. When we encounter people, they are literally a mirror. They aren't being us. That was something that I had a hard time understanding. They're not showing up as us. In other words, I used to believe that that person, their actions were a reflection of me, meaning that they were showing me. That made me not really understand because I know that I would never be the way that person was. It's not that. It's that they are holding a mirror up so that you can see what's within you. In other words, what emotion are they triggering within you? If they are triggering an emotion within you, it's only within you, which means it is yours. Now you can own it and take responsibility for it and begin to release it. Once you release all of your limiting beliefs, now you know that anything that anyone brings to you has nothing to do with you because all of those limiting beliefs are now gone. It no longer triggers you. You no longer feel a certain way because you know without a shadow of a doubt who you are, why you're here, and anyone that brings you anything other than pure unconditional love is simply acting from their own limiting beliefs. There's a shift in this awakening process when you go from seeing people as a mirror to being a light in order to illuminate the darkness. When people say that the law of attraction works perfectly, it is true, it always does. But when we understand that the law of attraction is bringing things to us in order to help us become aware of what we have within us, and then we feel like we've released it, but we still attract it, then we become, oh my gosh, I don't understand. I thought I had released it, so I don't understand why I'm still attracting it. Well, now when you attract it, it's not because you have a limiting belief about it. It's because you've stepped fully into your light. You've stepped fully into the truth of who you are. When you step fully into the truth of who you are, it no longer triggers you, but you are able to see that person as you from an unhealed place or from a lower frequency place. Because everything is energy, what we are doing essentially is, if we are energetically, let's just say that the energy scale is here, this being the lowest and this being the highest. This would be unconditional love, and this would be fear or hopelessness. And in between, there's all these different frequencies. And we'll do some lines here just for some representation. So there are all these different channels that you can tune into. If you're going through the awakening, it's because you ultimately are learning how to climb from the low frequency of fear to the frequency of unconditional love. And in order to do that, there are beliefs on each of these timelines that you must release. As you release them, you climb to the next one. And ultimately, you make your way all the way to the top. When you are on any of these timelines, let's say that this timeline here is the timeline that says that you are worthless. You will experience enough people that come to you to treat you as if you're worthless until you finally decide to own your value. Maybe there's a timeline here where you think you have lack. You will experience enough lack until you finally release that belief in order to align with abundance. Now, let's say that you have released these beliefs, you have climbed the frequency scale, because everything is energy, so even those beliefs that you have aren't really yours. It just means that you've tuned into a timeline where they exist, or you are in a timeline where they exist based on your upbringing and all of the beliefs that you inherited, all of the frequencies that you tuned into and grabbed on as your own. Those are what you're literally tuning out of. So you'll start here and you'll ultimately just climb until you release all of those beliefs. And truly, it's just a tuning, because there are thoughts on each one of these timelines. And depending upon which timeline you are on, which frequency you are on, you will receive those thoughts there. When you align with the unconditional love frequency, now none of these frequencies have resonance with you. You will still attract them though, because now you are attracting them in order to illuminate them. It doesn't mean that there's anything wrong. If you have overcome these and something from one of these timelines down here comes into your reality, you begin to experience it in the moment, instead of, oh my gosh, what happened? Why did I attract that? What did I do? Pause. See it and understand that is just you in another focused form looking for light. They are literally like a moth to a flame. When you climb, now you have something that they want, because you are them and you are shining brightly. You are illuminating. You are vibrating in such a way that you are so attractive that they are drawn to you. It's in the moment that they are drawn to you that you don't get in fear thinking that something's gone wrong. And then that you don't get haughty. In the moment that someone comes to you and you see something in them that you know isn't true, because you have vibrated out of that frequency, we want to be very careful that we don't get in judgment, because that is still a low frequency thought. That is still a 3-dimensional thought. The highest frequency sees everything as one. And when we've overcome something, we feel very, very powerful. And it does help to feel powerful, especially when you see someone else going through it and you know you've overcome it. This is when you have to be really, really careful about the ego. And you see them as yourself, the version of you that was there one time. What would that version of you want and need so desperately in order to find peace? Be that peace for them. Because at the highest frequency, we are all one. And when we go through this awakening process, it's tough. It's challenging. And it is the most rewarding experience ever. And because the darkness is necessary for us to become the light, It is necessary for the light to be in order to illuminate the darkness, because you see, without them, we couldn't be. We couldn't be who we are unless they were there to show us ways to become light. They are our greatest gift, and we don't want to leave them in the darkness. We see them for who they are. We love them for who we know they are, and we hold them in the highest regard. Anytime you see them as weak or incapable, then you are holding them in weakness, in those places of the impossible. There is nothing to be fixed, no one is broken, and there is nothing to save. There's nothing even about them that you need to fix or save. They are perfect. It's about you being. And being means I see you for the warrior you are. I see you for the strong, individually focused consciousness, and you have the same power within you that I do. And if I think of you as anything less than that, then I hold you in weakness. So I will not require less of you because you don't know your power. I will actually require the most out of you because I know who you are. And that requirement comes from a place of unconditional love. A perfect example, when I'm teaching yoga, for the longest time, I would call a pose, I would see people struggle, and I would immediately call something different in order to help them move to a new pose because I hated to see them struggle. In doing that, I just kept them weak. Because you see, the struggle is where strength is built. Calling a pose, watching them wobble, giving them some refinement cues, some encouragement, some time, some space, and allowing them to figure it out was the best way that I could lead a yoga class. Because if I call another pose to get them out of something hard, then I'm just causing them to be weak. They'll never master it. But if I hold them in a pose to punish them, then I'm taking full abuse of my authority as a leader. It's a fine line that we will walk. Walk it with grace, because you too were in a position where you needed much grace. This is an amazing experience, and I am so excited that we get to walk it together. If you like this video, like and subscribe. If there's a topic that you would just love to see a video about, post it in the comments. Look in the mirror, directly in your eyes. Say to yourself, I love you, you are perfect just the way you are, and you were never this many days old until today. So you are new to the world as the version of yourself right now, and I am so proud of you for showing up again. And you are a warrior because you have overcome every single one of your hardest challenges. You got this. Have a fantastic day.